Could you beat these two high-level recreational tennis players? Well, this video is courtesy of The Hendy on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to their awesome channel. I've put their link in the description below. So let's watch this point and then we'll analyze it. We'll see what we can learn, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And overall, we're going to improve our tennis by what we see in this video. All right, this is such a good point to review. We're going to learn so many good things. So the first thing is I want to talk about Bruce, who's at the top of the screen. I want to talk about his split step timing. So you do not want to split step as your opponent is hitting the ball. Let's just say that right off the bat. If you're told to split step as the opponent is hitting, that would be incorrect. And sure, it's one thing to say it, but does the coach really mean it? Because there's a better timing of the split step. And believe it or not, it's a predictable timing. It's 0.2 to 0.25 seconds after the opponent hits the ball. That's when you should split step. And the reason is because this is our visual reaction time. When we see something, that's how long it takes for our body to react to what we are seeing, to the information that we take in visually. So we should be able to go to the contact of the serve, which is right here, and zoom in on Bruce, put a timer down, and at 0.2, somewhere between 0.2 and 0.25 seconds, that's when Bruce should be landing his split step, because you want to synchronize your body landing when your brain reacts. So let's see when Bruce lands his split step. So we just landed his split step, 0.38. So that is late. That means like right here, Bruce knows where the ball is going. Because it's 0.2, oops, sorry, I didn't have a tool there. It's 0.23. So Bruce's brain knows where the ball is going, but he has not hit the ground yet. Watch, he hits the ground now because he was actually in the air at that point. You don't want to be in the air as your brain is reacting and recognizing where to go. That's when you want to land so that you can explode in any direction. So he has to wait to hit the ground, then he can move to be able to return this ball. So if this ball had not been at his body and had been at the tee or out wide, it would probably have been an ace, not because Bruce is not fast enough to get over there, but because he was in the air when his brain reacted, so he had to wait to hit the ground, making him slower and later to get to that ball. So I would tell Bruce, hey, Bruce, I want you to land your split step after the ball is contacted by the opponent, yes, but not so late. The proper timing is you actually want to be in the air as your opponent hits. So as your opponent hits, be in the air with your split step. It'll take about 0.2 seconds for you to land, and then it's an easy way to time it. So it's a really good serve by Curtis, kind of jams kind of close to the backhand, forcing Bruce to hit a short return. Now, I love that Curtis is coming in to attack this ball. He's making it a forehand, kind of moves around this ball to make sure that it is a forehand. You can see that move right there. And this is a common footwork when moving around a ball. You kind of draw a letter C with your footwork. You move around the ball like that. That was awesome. What's really nice about hitting a forehand on the ad side as a righty is it freezes the opponent. The opponent has to respect the down the line. Right? Because this is what's called an inside ground stroke. An inside ground stroke is the ground stroke toward the inside of the court. So this is the center of the court. Obviously, this is the out wide of the court. So since it's the center of the court, it's inside, right? It's inside the court. So this is commonly referred to as inside out or inside in, by the way. That's why it's called inside out and inside in. So this ball, we should see Curtis attack the net. You can see that he is up on the baseline of the 10 and under court for kids 10 and under. So when you are this close to the net or this far inside the baseline, you have got to go forward. And we can see Curtis do that. He hits his approach shot and he starts coming forward. Now, I'm sure if Curtis could change anything about this approach, he would make sure that this ball got to Bruce's backhand. When Curtis hits this ball, he does not get it far enough over, and Bruce ends up hitting his inside ground stroke. Inside ground strokes are hit down the line very easily. Just think of directionals, word law directionals. When the ball is hit on an inside ground stroke, changing the direction is quite easy. It's the leverage. It's actually hitting cross court. Like this is actually cross court to a forehand. This would be cross court for the backhand. And cross court is such an easy way to hit a tennis ball. So the fact that this is an inside ground stroke means, Curtis realizes this ball is probably going down the line, which he does. Now, I love this shot by Bruce. I love that Bruce got the ball low to Curtis. When your opponent is attacking the net, force them to hit a low volley. Don't feel like you have to go for an outright clean winner, lob over their head. You don't have to. Simply hitting the ball low to them forces the ball to be hit up and means that your opponent is either going to screw this up or they cannot typically hurt you with the volley. And that's what you see here with Curtis. Curtis has a low volley and he has to pop it up, and it's much easier than for Bruce to handle Curtis's shot. Now, I will say this about low volleys. When you get a low volley, and so Curtis, listen up. When you get a low volley, keep the ball in front of you. It's called HTL, hold the line. Keep the ball in front of you in most cases. When you have a low volley and you're at the net, remember the ball's got to go up off your racket. So it's going to be very difficult to end the point. If you hit low volleys cross court, what you end up doing, especially if you're moving hard to the side, is you end up moving to the opposite direction your opponent is moving. And that's not what we want to do. Like when our opponent, let's say our opponent's over there and we're at the net, we want to be on the same side of the court as our opponent so we can bisect where they can hit the ball, right? We want to bisect. We want to mirror them. When you have a low volley and you hit the ball cross court, especially if you're going hard to the side, you're moving your opponent opposite where you're going to be, and now you cannot cover and bisect where your opponent will hit their next shot. So keep the ball in front of you, and then you can just simply move forward and bisect the down the line and cross court shots very, very easily. Now he hits this ball cross court, and you can see Curtis, after Curtis hits this ball, he moves this way a little bit. See that? He moves off to his right because his balance and his body weight is pulling him that way. Now, he keeps the ball only slightly cross court, which is good. If he had hit this ball very far cross court, it would have been really easy to get passed down the line by the opponent. So again, low volleys, keep the ball in front of you. Now, here is where we see a mistake by Curtis. So a couple things. One, when you hit your first volley at a certain distance from the net, what you want to do is close off the net. You want to close off the net so that you can create or cover more angle, and you make it much more difficult for the opponent to hit the pass. What you see here from Curtis is he hits this volley, and look how he doesn't really get close to the net. He's staying, pretty far back. In fact, he moves laterally to try to bisect where this ball is going to go. Another thing you see is because he's not super close to the net, he's actually straddling the center service line. He is leaving too much court open down the alley, and that's exactly what you see Bruce do. Bruce uses the classic strategy called the two-shot passing shot strategy. The two-shot passing shot strategy is when your opponent comes to the net, you want to first hit the ball low to them, right? That's the first shot. Then when they hit the weak volley, then you come in with the passing shot on the second shot. So there's the first shot. Here's the second shot. He goes for the pass on the second shot. That is a smart way to play singles. Don't go for the pass on the first shot. Go for the pass on the second shot. The reason, look at the approach shot that Curtis hit. He blasts this ball. Bruce is trying to get out of the way of this thing. So Bruce is a little more neutral at best, if not defensive in this situation. So when you're neutral or defensive, and then you're going for a pass, that means you're going for an offensive shot, possibly in a defensive situation. That's not what you want to do. So just hit the ball basically right to your opponent with a little spin and gravity's help. The ball's going to get low to them. Now this is a much slower ball and easier ball for Bruce to now go because he's in an offensive situation. Much easier than for him to go for an offensive shot. Now, I do want to say something here about Curtis's positioning. This would not be a wrong distance to be from the net if his volley was really deep and was pushing Bruce back. Because if you hit a really deep volley that pushes your opponent back, what you should expect is a lob. And what you wouldn't want to do then is get really tight to the net just to make it easier for their lob to get over your head. But since Curtis's volley was a little weak, and when Bruce is hitting this ball, it's going to be low, and that's something that Curtis would have to recognize in a very short amount of time. He should not expect a lob in this situation. He's kind of got to pick his poison and say, you know what? I'm going to expect this ball to go as a passing shot. So if he just moves in, it makes it easier for him to cover this ball. Now, I would say one mistake that Bruce makes. I love, by the way, the down the line pass. Down the line passing shots in recreational tennis are so much more successful than cross court passes. Just because cross court, you have to dip the ball short in the service box, where down the line you can hit the ball deep, and it's just so much easier to do. One thing I would say is when you're in Bruce's situation and you crack a ball down the line and you see your opponent in trouble, what you have to expect is a weak ball that will sometimes go over the net and bounce twice, and you end up losing the point even though you hit a great shot. So I want you to watch Bruce's reaction. He hits the ball down the line, but watch how he moves laterally. Watch, he hits this ball. Watch him take a lateral step. He's moving to his left. Bruce at the top of the screen is moving to his left. When you hit a ball that you hit successfully and you get your opponent in trouble, immediately start moving forward, because Bruce, I would hate for Curtis to win this point with a weak kind of shank volley, meaning you lost the point because you hit such a great shot that you didn't follow the shot up with a forward movement into the court. But overall, that was such a great point to watch. Let's watch it one more time just so we can see in live action what we just did with the analysis. Now, if you want to learn how to win more singles matches, then I invite you to check out the new Rules of Singles. It's a brand new online solution from Will Hamilton over at Fuzzy Yellow Balls, where he's teamed up with Craig O'Shaughnessy, the leading stats guy in the world when it comes to what is working on the pro tours, what isn't working, and how you, the recreational tennis player, can use this info to help you win more matches. To check out the new Rules of Singles, you can do one of two things. First, you can simply get the Fuzzy Yellow Balls app in the App Store, or just click below. My link is in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. And if you're looking for people in your local area to play matches against or practice with, maybe you want to find a local league at your level, or maybe you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link for Play Your Court. And it's playyourcourt.com/2minute tennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. So go out and film yourself playing a match and review your technique, your footwork, your strategy, your court positioning, your overall decision making, and see if what you're doing is helping you to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.